Hi, everybody. Welcome in to Morning in the Valley. I'm Jeff Bidwell. Glad you are with us today here on Friday, September the 12th, rolling along towards November the 3rd. Cannot wait. We are almost there. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to have my conversation from yesterday. Got a chance to catch up with Bradley, sophomore guard Jaquan Johnson, sort of taking the reins at the point guard position after the graduation of the great Duke Dean. And Jaquan will now be running the show up there in Peoria. And we'll talk with Jaquan about his summer, what he learned from Dean, and also some workout tips for all of us, since, as I told him, I think he can bench press a house. So that'll be just coming up here in just a couple of moments. Coming up on Monday, we'll have my conversation with Rob Doster from the Field of 68, getting us ready for the Field of 68 opening day marathon, which, of course, will feature Drake, Bradley, and Murray State, each playing games, a 6-game marathon, 3 games in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 3 more in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And so we'll talk with Rob about how we got there. This opening day, we started with a tip-off. It went to a showcase, now a marathon, and as he's going to tell us next week, they're trying to get to 24 hours. So looking forward to seeing how that can continue to grow. So we'll talk with Rob on Monday. And then Wednesday, we will catch up once again with Valparaiso women's head coach Courtney Boyd. 6 months on the job now, getting ready for season number 1 with the Beacons. So a busy couple of days lined up here on Morning in the Valley. If you haven't done so already, please head over to YouTube and subscribe for free to the show. Just search Morning in the Valley, subscribe, like, share, all of that. Very, very important for us as we continue to grow, and very much appreciated. Again, old interview clips, past shows, if you ever miss one, it's all there. So just go to Morning in the Valley on YouTube and subscribe, and we appreciate your support. All right, news of the day today, which we will start with just a simple email got from our friend Mike Kern in the from the offices of the Missouri Valley Conference, asking for preseason poll prognostications. I'm one of the chosen few, one of the lucky ones that getting to vote on the preseason poll in the Missouri Valley Conference on the men's side. And I was reading the email and I was reading the attachment, and I was kind of trying to figure out where page 2 of the attachment was. I couldn't find it. And page 2 was the all-conference preseason polls. And in the fine print at the bottom, it said, yeah, we're not doing that this year. There's going to be a preseason poll, but there will be no all-conference preseason teams per se. Each team will have a watch list, but no, I don't remember if it was just a first team and a second team or just a first team, whatever. There's no teams this year. And it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I think ultimately when it is just such an ever-loving crapshoot. I mean, I remember this exercise from last summer where it was like, who are these guys? And because each school, I think, put forth some nominees, and for you to look at, and it's like, I remember Paul Oren from the Victory Bell going, Belmont was pushing this Jonathan Pierre guy who averaged 2 points at Memphis or something. And it was like, who? And then you're like, yeah, he ends up being all conference. And no one in the world knew who, Bennett Sturts was at Drake. And yeah, ends up player of the year. I mean, it's just, there's too many unknowns. And it's kind of just a fool's errand to go through it. Yeah. And as we talked about with the Blue Ribbon first team, I think you can get to a 5, pretty reasonably with returners. And just, the 5 that were in the Blue Ribbon, when you've got Walker and Kinzinger at Illinois State and Campbell at Northern Iowa and Lundblade at Belmont and Stafford at SIU. Yeah, those are 5, and they're coming back. And yes, 100% we can round out a 5. But once you get past that, you're reaching and you're guessing more than guessing than you normally would on a preseason poll. So there are no pearls to be clutched in this situation with the conference office. So those emails with the preseason polls are due next Friday, the 19th. So I would assume that following week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we should get the official preseason poll as voted on by the media. And I believe it's the coaches and the sports information directors as well to round that out. So We're getting close. No schedule yet, but again, another reminder. Again, last year it was September 20th, so still a week or so away from hitting that barrier. I imagine it is all coming very, very soon. Speaking of scheduling, Southern Illinois' schedule is essentially done. That is my word of the morning. Essentially, thanks in part to Little Rock, the Trojans releasing their schedule. And right there on November the 29th, they have a matchup in Carbondale against Southern Illinois. They'll be taking on, of course, Murray State, the back end of a home-and-home series in Murray in earlier November as well. But this was the last game to get SIU to 11 non-conference games, and that is the matchup there with Little Rock. So when you look at SIU's schedule, and they have not officially announced the schedule yet, and I am going to go out on not too far of a limb and just presume they're hanging on as long as they can to try to get the matchups for the Jacksonville Classic MTE they'll be playing in November. But what they have in terms of it is a metrically, I think it's a pretty decent schedule. You only have 4 home games, which I know is disappointing, I'm sure, for Scott Nagy and for certainly for the Saluki faithful. But you sort of saw this coming as they were adding games throughout the summer. It was just like another road game and another road game and another road game, and some of them are back into home and homes, and it just felt like it was tilting a little bit in the wrong direction. But you've got one non-Division I game. The other 3 games that are at home, you have Kansas City, you have UT Martin. Those are quad 4 games. Little Rock's a sneaky one. I mean, it's a quad 3. They're, I think, like 130 or so, 140 in the Bart Torvik projections. They're going to be, I don't know if I've seen the projections yet out of the Ohio Valley Conference. They should be number 1 in the OVC. If not 1, they're 2. And so that's a sneaky, again, as we talk about these quad 3 games, especially at home, they are, if you win them, you don't get credit. Boy, if you lose them, you get hammered. So that's something to watch with that game. We have 2 neutral site games at the Jacksonville Classic with that. As we talked about last week, this is just a kind of a hodgepodge of teams that couldn't get in to any other MTEs and couldn't find marriages that worked there. And so it's 10 teams in sort of a pool, and everybody's going to play 2 games. So there's no brackets. It's just you're going to get matched up. And so, for SIU standpoint, when you look at there's Abilene and there is UAB, Abilene Christian, UAB, those 2 teams might, according to the Torvik projections, could be, they're kind of on that borderline of maybe they can get up to a quad 2 game and be a top 100 matchup in the net, probably a quad 3, maybe. So you hope, if you're going to get matched up with them, certainly hope. The other teams, there's not a whole lot of optimism with those in terms of climbing into that quad 2. They're really Q3, Q4s: Delaware, Georgia Southern, Greensboro, UTEP, UT San Antonio, William & Mary, and Youngstown. So not a lot of great opportunities there in Jacksonville, but again, hoping you can get Abilene, hoping you can get UAB and have a chance. Then on the road, this is where this schedule really, it's got teeth. And this is really some good stuff. Quad 1, quad 2 opportunities. Going to Memphis, the quad 1, the quad 2s, going to Nevada, going to High Point, going to Richmond, and then a trip to North Dakota State as well, which right now projects out to be a Q3 game. So, look, you've got your games you should be able to win at home. Again, a sneaky one with Little Rock. You'd love a little more in the MTE, but you'll take what you can get there. But on the road, 4 right now, projecting Q1 and Q2 opportunities for Scott Nagy's bunch as they try to ascend their way back up the Missouri Valley Conference standings. Hey, we've got some Hall of Fame news to talk about. Murray State announcing yesterday their 2025 Hall of Fame class. And on the men's basketball side, the 2025 inductee will be Cuthbert Victor, played for Murray State from 2000 to 2004 out of the Virgin Islands. This was when I first got in my TV life, got to West Kentucky covering Murray State in 2002. Cuffy, as he was affectionately known, was just part of the NCAA tournament team in 2002. with Sylvester Anderson as coach, got there again in 2004 in McCronen's first year. He was the definition of the undersized big. Cuffy was 6'5", maybe on his best day, and his wingspan, I think, was like 8 feet. He had arms that just went forever. And that is why at 6'5", he is still, to this day, Murray State's all-time leader in block shots, 160 block shots, because he those arms would just go forever. And he was quite the eraser on the defensive end. 1,485 points, 935 rebounds, 17th still on Murray State's all-time scoring list, 6th in rebounds, 4th in steals with 167. So when you look through points, rebounds, steals, blocks in the last 40 years in college basketball, Cuthbert Victor, one of just 18 players to have those numbers. And on that list, there are some luminaries: Danny Manning, Purvis Ellison, Derek Coleman, among others. So a probably overdue addition to Murray State's Hall of Fame, but Cuthbert Victor, no date announcement at this point yet for when that'll be, but Cuthbert Victor, part of the 2025 Murray State Hall of Fame class. All right, time now to bring in our guests. Yesterday, got a chance to talk with Jaquan Johnson, the new point guard. I say the new point guard, the new starting point guard of the Bradley Braves, as he is stepping in to replace the great Duke Dean. And we saw the glimpses last year of why, okay, this dude's going to be around for a while. 37 games he played, set the freshman record for steals at Bradley. And as we will mention, it was sort of a historic season on the defensive end, and really, from a national standpoint as well, for Jaquan Johnson. But a lot going to be on his shoulders this year as he takes the reins, leading the point guard position there for Brian Wardle's bunch in Peoria. So here's my conversation from yesterday with Bradley sophomore guard Jaquan Johnson. Jaquan Johnson, welcome to Morning in the Valley. I dragged you out of morning workouts. You like the morning workouts, or are you more an afternoon, evening guy?
Pretty much whenever I can get in, try to get in, get it over with.
How were summer workouts this year? What was the biggest difference as opposed to coming in as a freshman, now having a year under your belt and going through everything your sophomore season?
I mean, I feel like just learning from I had Duke Dean last year. I learned a lot from him. So pretty much coming in this year has been a lot more easier, a lot more smooth. I know I got my routine built in, so I know when to come in and do it, how to come in and do it, what to do when I get here, and how to execute my everyday routine. So I feel like it's been a lot smoother this summer.
Playing behind a guy like Duke Dean, that an undersized guard in a league with a lot of big dudes. What was the biggest thing you learned watching him last season?
Just the way that he leads the team, coming in every day. He got the same routine. Coming in, he got the same energy every day. He's a great guy on and off the court. Just the communication part of the game, coming in, I didn't talk that much, so he had to instill that into me. You got to be if you want to be a point guard on the team, on a good team, you have to be one of the most talkative players on the team. You got to lead the team day in, day out. Yeah.
You had a lot of veterans leave, graduate their way out. Duke left, Darius Hannah, Zeke Montgomery, and so on. What was the leadership like this summer, and somebody stepping into that void? And as the point guard, were you the guy maybe that stepped in? And are you comfortable as a sophomore taking that mantle?
Yeah, I feel like I've been one of the guys that definitely had to step into that role because, like I said, as a point guard, if you want to have a winning team, you got to have a great point guard that's going to lead. He gets the ball in hand most of the time. So I feel like I was one of the guys. And Corey Thomas also was one of the guys that definitely stepped up and being one of our top leaders. So I feel like it's been going well as a leadership role being.
In my day job of doing radio for Murray State and watching you in person at court level last year when you guys rolled into Murray in January, and Duke's obviously 5'8", maybe on his best day, and small guard, and then I see, they've got another small guard, and who's this Jaquan Johnson guy, and then when you checked into the game for the first time and you had all the warm-ups off, I was like, holy cow, I think this dude can bench press a car. So firstly, is there anybody on the team that benches more than you?
This year, no. Last year we had maybe one or two.
All right. So the other part of this now is you guys this summer going through some conditioning stuff. Walk me through this medicine ball, volleyball stuff that us mere mortals, this looks like the worst thing in the whole world.
No, it was just like he wanted us to have a little competitive day. We've been like doing hard lifts, strong lifts all summer. So he was like, one of these days, let's go do something a little different, be competitive. He wanted us to talk through this, use teamwork and build team chemistry and things like that. So we just had to do a different activity.
Is it as bad as it looks though? I mean,
maybe it kind of is, yeah. Because you get sweaty, the ball gets slippery, the medicine ball not easy to get over the net. So It was like a lot more harder than it looks.
When I talked with Coach Wardle a couple of months ago, I said, look, I see your guys out there. I didn't really see any coaches jumping in and taking part in that. I mean, is there any way to drag Coach Wardle out there and let him, try to flex on you all a little bit?
Nah, I don't think Coach Wardle will be able to compete with us.
How does your strength help you on the floor? I said everyone. It's now it is Jaquan Bully Johnson. The strength certainly plays a part in that. How do you feel like that strength helps you on the floor?
I feel like it can help me on both sides, like just getting downhill, being there to attack, getting past defenders, like being there to play strong, getting to the paint. And on the defensive end, it's like a lot easier to guard, stand in front of guards, chesting up, things like that. So, yeah.
When you look back to your decision to come to Bradley, what was the number one reason for you that was coming out of Milwaukee and deciding this was Peoria was going to be your home for the next hopefully 4 years?
Really, just like I came to one of the games first. We had Coach Foster. He's like one of the guys I knew for a couple years. Like he's from Milwaukee, things like that. So I've been communicating with him a lot, and like he just showed me like the dedication he had, like coming down to my high school and like things like that, checking on my grades, or things like that, coming to games. And then also, we got like the Milwaukee connection here, so I talked with them too. They told me like it's like family here. They'll love you here, things like that. And I came to a game. It was great. Never knew anything about Peoria and things like that. I came here. It was great. Fans was great. Went to Carver for the first time. I loved the arena. The environment was great. Energy was great. And I was like, yeah, I could just see myself playing in this arena one day.
Darius Hannah, Demarion Birch from Milwaukee. Were those guys you knew growing up, or at least knew of growing up before you got to campus?
I really didn't have like a connection with them, but like Marky's not like if you play basketball, like you go know somebody. So I knew of both of them, but like I really ain't like talk to them. So
it's at least nice to see some familiar faces, at least that know the stomping grounds when you come down on your visit. You talked about the assistant coaches, a lot of turnover on the coaching staff this year. A lot of guys have moved on. You've got Brian Jones, Bobby Suarez, Alan Hansen that have come in to join you guys this summer. What has that been like just for, obviously a lot of new faces on the roster, but also the coaching staff as well, that everybody's kind of learning together how to do the things the way Coach Wardle wants them done?
I mean, I feel like the first couple weeks they was learning, but like honestly, Coach Wardle's a good guy. He made sure that they was prepared for everything. I feel like they picked it up easily. We got a great experienced new coaching staff, so I feel like they've been doing pretty well.
When you look back at last season, what do you think was the best part of your experience, and maybe did it go the way you thought it was going to go, and your impact on the team coming in as a freshman?
Honestly, not really. I just wanted to know. I knew we had an experienced guard, so I knew I wanted to come in and learn a lot from Duke Dean. So I came in and learned a lot. The coaches told me I had a possibility to get playing time, just keep grinding. So that's what I did, and it all worked out.
57 steals last year, a freshman record at Bradley. I went back and looked, and you were the only player in the country in the last 7 years to have at least 57 steals in a season without starting a game. I mean, you were just such a defensive dynamo coming off the bench. Where does that instinct come from on the defensive side where you've just got a nose for the basketball?
Really high school, because high school was like, if I get quick 2-3 steals, that's quick 6 to 8 points, things like that. You know, it just like leads to offense. So like all through high school is like learning how to use your hands, learning when to reach and when not to reach and things like that. So yeah, I feel like it came from high school.
Was the adjustment easier maybe than you thought, playing defense, at least from the high school to the college level, that you're like, man, I was picking pockets in high school. That's one thing, but to come up and do it in the Missouri Valley Conference as much as you did that catch you off guard a little bit?
It was kind of like, because when I first got here, it was like coaches had to tell me kind of like stop reaching sometimes. So
right,
it was a little different because it's like it's not as easy like as it was in high school. Like you got to get it in different ways, like off the ball, kind of a lot more than it was like in high school. I can get it a lot on the ball, but I got a couple times this like last season. But like majority of the steals came from off the ball, so I had to learn like it's gonna be a lot more skilled players, so it's gonna be a little harder for you to get on ball. So just know when to try to go gamble and get the steal and when not to.
You are number 22. Any significance to that, or did coach just say, hey, here's your number?
No, I just wear it in high school all 4 years, so I was like, might as well stick to it.
It's worked out so far pretty well. What was your season ended in March? I guess to go back to March, how much of, man, you freshman year, you make it to Sunday in St. Louis, you got a chance to get to the NCAA tournament, you come up just short against a really good Drake team. How much of a chip has that put on your shoulder of being so close? And how much of a conversation has that been amongst you and your teammates throughout the spring and summer of not only do we got to get back to Sunday, but we've got to cut the nets down?
I mean, I feel like we every day we know what we're here for. I mean, we talk about it almost every chance we get, every workout in the beginning and at the end of every workout in the locker room. We just chat about it. You know, we know where we want to go. So I feel like guys are really putting in the work to get there. Knowing that that's the amount of games you have to win, and like how close we got last year. The returning guys are definitely like, you know, we just got to do it. They try to bring in newcomers with us. So, and I feel like we got a great group of newcomers that understand where we're trying to get. And I feel like we definitely been putting in the work to get there.
What was your number one thing on your board when we last saw you after the NIT ended in March of, okay, I've got 8 months to get better at this? What did you want to improve upon the most this summer in the off season?
Really just like anything shooting wise, free throws, off the dribble threes, things like that. And then, like I said, like being the leadership role, bringing guys with you, making guys better, and decision making.
Coach had you sat you down. I guess he's going through player by player, going through some video with this stuff. And the thing that jumped out was he's like, look, we want to keep playing with more pace. And maybe sometimes last year you didn't have the foot on the gas as much. How can you make that happen for him to make him happy and play at a pace that you're still comfortable with, even though he wants it a little bit faster?
Honestly, I feel like it's just more of like being in shape and things like that. I've been doing like a lot of more running, like, so I could, because I know I'm gonna play a little more minutes this year, so I know I got to get in more condition than I was last year. So I feel like just being in a little bit more shape, and that'll get me where I need to be.
Do you have a favorite road game in the Valley? I mean, you're 1 year through, and was there anybody for any reason, the arena, the city, whatever it may have been, any road trip in the conference that you're looking forward to making again this year?
I feel like I had to say I want to play again. I want to beat Drake.
Sure.
Just for, just like last year, things like that. And then I like to play and build my gym. I like to build my gym.
All right. Well, everybody's going to get a chance to see everybody this year. You guys in the non-conference, you're going to San Francisco. You're going to go play St. Bonaventure in the Field of 68 opening day deal. You're going to Orlando. Any Looking at the schedule, what you've got, is there any game that maybe you have circled of like, I'm looking forward to go and playing that game?
For sure, the Washington State game.
Okay.
I feel like we came in and took a tough loss that year, so I'm definitely looking forward to that game.
And you'll get them in your gym, which is also very nice. Lastly, I guess the bulletin board material, you guys have been, of course, you've been there just 1 year, but Bradley always in that tippy top tier, seemingly in the conference standings the last couple of years, and the blue ribbon yearbook put you guys 5th. Any conversation in the locker room amongst you guys about being 5th in the first real preseason poll we've seen?
I mean, we look at it, but like we really like it just make us go even harder than we was. So just put a chip on our shoulder. So I feel like that just gave us even more energy and things like that. I feel like we just use that as film to go even harder in the gym.
Only about 7 weeks away until it's go time on November 3rd. He's Jaquan Johnson, sophomore guard for the Bradley Braves. Thank you so much for giving us a few minutes today, and best of luck. There was Jaquan Johnson. I know there's no preseason all-conference team. I will be ultimately surprised if we get to March and he is not on one of the 3 postseason teams for this season.
Thank you.
He is a as I tried to dance, or I don't even know. I tried to dance. He is just so strong, and the fact that they are, even in Bradley's, the media guide and the notes and the bio, it's like it is Jaquan Bully Johnson. They are embracing the bully part of it, and whether he is able on the defensive end to just go after people and be physical with them, or on the offensive end and just being able to play through people and get to the rim. For a guy that is 5'11", he is a tough matchup on the perimeter to be able to play against. So certainly wish him the best this year, and we will be seeing plenty of both Jaquan Johnson and the Bradley Braves. All right, more headlines of the morning, and it is not often. It's commitment season. We're seeing, it's for that first week of the year. The season starts November 3rd, and then I believe it's the next day, November 4th is the start of the November signing period, where you start getting the 2026 commitments on board. At Valparaiso, head coach Courtney Boyd on the women's side, they got a 2027 commitment on the board. Jocelyn James out of Sterling, Illinois, tweeted out the other night, quote, "When you know, you know." So Jocelyn James is coming to Valpo a 2027. So she's just in her junior year of high school. Was offered by Coach Boyd and her staff back on July the 22nd. And from what I was able to find, I didn't find any other Division I offers. I think it's the first one. But obviously Coach Boyd made enough of an impression, and Jocelyn James saw enough that she's like, yeah, that's where I want to be. So 5'5" point guard out of Sterling, Illinois, and she will be a beacon. We're going to have to wait a little while before she gets there, but she has committed to Valparaiso. More schedule news. There's going to be a time we're going to be done with schedule news. That time is not today. UIC releasing theirs on the women's side as well. And 6 home games. Fantastic. 6 home games, 2 neutrals, 3 roadies. And this one sets up very nicely for UIC to get to January into Valley play. And you're going to look up and you're going to be like, wow, they're sitting with a record that will catch your eye. I think that is where this has set up. 6 home games. When you look at the board right now, they have, and this is past results do not indicate future performance, but when you look at last year's net and what they have on the schedule this year, they have 2 quad 1 games, they have 2 quad 3 games, and then 7 quad 4s. So 9 of your 11 in the Q1 or Q4 department. That is huge for Ashleen Bracey and her staff at UIC. Home games with Robert Morris, Northern Illinois, Loyola, Austin P. The quad 3 games, you get DePaul to come across town, and then you get Wisconsin to come down. And Wisconsin, as a home game, is going to be hard to get into that quad 2 range, but you get a Big Ten team in your building. We've seen LSU went up there. I believe it was last year that teams are willing to go to Chicago and play. And so it's a great opportunity to get a Power 4 win at home. And they'll have that chance. They're going to go play in an MTE at Iona, where they will be the best team, just from a metric standpoint, looking through last year's prism. But they'll play Maine in the opener, and then either Iona or St. Francis. Those are all quad 4 games. And then on the road, they go to Indiana, to Ball State. Those would have been quad 1 games a year ago. And then they'll go to Athens, Ohio, and play the mighty Ohio Bobcats. You just don't walk into the Convocation Center and think you're getting out of there with a win. But that should be a quad 4 victory for hopefully for UIC there too as well. So the schedule, it is lined up for them to be taken seriously when we get to January. And maybe not as much taken seriously, but more of they're not sneaking up on anybody. They were, last year it was the top 6 and the bottom 6, and they were kind of in that purgatory in the middle of are they in the top 6? Are they in the bottom? Because they beat the 2 co-champions, Murray State and Missouri State. They both went to Chicago and got beat last year. So UIC, one of those teams that I think people may sleep on a little bit, but they've got an opportunity to really set themselves up going into Valley play. And then once we get there, certainly be able to try to make a run toward the top of the Valley standings. And one more piece of news from the coaching staff department today. It is Molly Williams has been hired as an assistant coach for Coach Mark Mitchell over at Indiana State, played collegiately at the University of Washington, went overseas, played 5 years over there. Most recently, she was an assistant at Claremont Mudd Scripps, it's a Division III school out in California, but she has rolled into Terre Haute to join Coach Mitchell's staff there at Indiana State and try to get that Sycamore program jump-started and rolling again. All right, that does it for this Friday edition of Morning in the Valley. Glad you have been with us today. Thanks to Jaquan Johnson, the Bradley sophomore guard, for being with us. Again, Monday, we will hear from Rob Doster from the Field of 68. Our conversation from earlier this week. We'll talk about the opening day marathon this year in both Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Rock Hill, South Carolina. And then on Wednesday, we will speak with Courtney Boyd, Valparaiso women's head coach as well. She will make her triumphant return to Morning in the Valley. If you haven't done so, you're not watching us on YouTube, just swing over to YouTube and give us a follow and share it, like it, subscribe to it for free, all that good stuff. And will be greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated as we continue to grow this little program. So thanks to you for being with us today. Hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and we will see you on Monday morning, as always, 9 a.m. Wherever you're watching us right now, we'll be there Monday, 9 a.m. right here on Morning in the Valley.